Kenji stood on the empty train platform at midnight, watching the last express disappear. 28 years old, successful by every measure, and completely hollow. That night, a thought crossed his mind that terrified him. What if this feeling never changes? What if I live my whole life and never discover what I'm here for? 3 days later, he walked into a small temple on his lunch break. He wasn't religious, but something pulled him there. An old man was sweeping the courtyard. When their eyes met, the man stopped. "You look like someone searching for something you don't have words for." Kenji froze. How could this stranger see through him? The old man, Takeshi, invited him to sit. "The West has taught you to chase success, but you've never learned to recognize purpose." Takeshi explained that many young Japanese struggle with purpose today. There is a concept, ikigai, which means your reason for being. Then he said something surprising. But the way ikigai has been taught in the West is not how we understand it here. Kenji leaned forward. "What do you mean?" "In the West, people are told ikigai means finding work that combines what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. 4 perfect circles." He drew in the dirt. This diagram was created by a Westerner in 2011, not by us. Real ikigai is simpler. It means the small things that make life feel worth living. Morning tea, a child's laugh, work done well. My grandfather's ikigai was tending his garden. He never made money from it. Wasn't the best gardener, but it gave his days meaning. Kenji felt more confused. Then how do I find my purpose? If there's no formula? Takeshi smiled. Purpose is not something you find. It reveals itself as you pay attention to your life. Over the next weeks, Takeshi taught Kenji Kansatsu, deep observation. Kenji kept a journal. Each day, 3 things. 1 moment when he felt present. 1 when he felt useful. 1 when time moved differently. At first, his entries were vague. Helped a coworker. But Takeshi pushed him to look closer. What specifically felt good? After 2 weeks, patterns surfaced. Kenji felt present, explaining complex things simply. He felt useful helping someone understand confusion. Time moved differently when translating technical concepts into plain language. 1 entry, spent 20 minutes helping my aunt with her new phone. Forgot I was tired. Just focused on each step until she got it. These were not grand revelations, small observations. But Takeshi said this was right. The samurai knew a clear path is built from small stones. You are seeing the shape of your ikigai. Kenji still felt uncertain. These are just small moments. How do they become purpose? Takeshi's answer surprised him. They already are. You just haven't been paying attention. Ikigai is not something you build toward. It is something you recognize is already present. In Japan, we have Hōshi, dedication through service. You feel alive when you make things clear for someone. That is your Hōshi. Your purpose already exists there. Kenji sat with this. He had been waiting for some grand calling. But purpose was already in his life, in helping his aunt, training coworkers, translating confusion into clarity. He just hadn't seen it as purpose because it seemed too ordinary. Takeshi added, "There is Jikan no Nagare, the flow of time. Most people think purpose reveals itself in one big moment. But the samurai understood it reveals itself through movement, toward what energizes you. You don't need to know your entire path today. Take 1 step toward what gave you presence yesterday." Kenji made a decision. He didn't quit his job. He didn't announce a dramatic life change. But he did volunteer to lead more training sessions at work. He started a small side project, creating simple guides that explained his company's complex processes in plain language for new employees. He spent Sunday mornings having tea with his grandmother and listening to her stories, not because it was productive, but because it felt meaningful. 6 months later, his manager noticed the training guides. They were so clear, so helpful, that the company asked Kenji to develop a full training program. Within a year, he had shifted into a role focused entirely on making complex information accessible. He taught new employees. He redesigned confusing systems. He translated between technical teams and non-technical people. The work wasn't always easy. Some days were frustrating, but the hollowness was gone. He woke up with direction. One afternoon, Kenji returned to the temple. Takeshi was sweeping the same courtyard. "I think I understand now," Kenji said. "My ikigai wasn't something I had to find. It was already there in those small moments. I just had to pay attention and move toward them." Takeshi nodded. The samurai had a saying, "The path becomes clear when you walk it, not when you stare at it." You walked toward what felt meaningful, even when it seemed small. That is how purpose unfolds. Not all at once, not perfectly, but truthfully. Kenji learned that ikigai is not about 4 perfect circles. It is not about finding the one right career. It is about noticing what makes you feel present, then orienting your life toward those moments. Purpose lives in small, daily acts, not grand declarations. Here is how you can begin. 1. Practice Kansatsu for 1 week. Each evening, write down one moment when you felt present, one when you felt useful, and one when time moved differently. 2. Ask not, "What is my dream job?" but, "When do I feel most alive?" 3. Take one small action this week that aligns with those moments. Not a life change, just one step. 4. Remember that true ikigai is not career success, but the small things that make life worth living. 5. Trust Jikan no Nagare, the flow of time. Purpose reveals itself through movement, not through planning. Your purpose is not hiding. It is already present in moments when you feel most yourself. The question is not what you should become, but what are you already doing when time disappears and life feels worth living? Pay attention to that. Move toward that. That is the Japanese way. Not searching for something new, but recognizing what already brings meaning and making space for it. If you are ready to discover what already gives your life meaning, write in the comments, "I will find my ikigai through attention." Thank you for being here and for choosing to live with purpose.